Hi, welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa, and I'll be your collective pick-a-pile reader today. And if you're wondering what this reading's about, if you didn't read the title before you clicked in here, this is a March pick-a-pile reading. So it's looking ahead to see what March has to reveal for you or what you can take advantage of. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. I'm glad to see you, glad to hear from you, glad for you to be here with us today. And if you are one of my returning listeners, thank you for being here again today. And you are more than welcome to go ahead and dive into the timestamp if you already have clicked into a pile and it just resonated with you. It was a part of your family and you just wanted to check in with it. And if you are not, you are more than welcome to go ahead and continue with the rest of the intro, because I always like to talk a little bit about some facts that I discover whenever I'm doing a month reading. But before I do, let me go ahead and get the disclaimers out of the way. First and foremost, if you are leaning heavily into this last pile over here, just know that this pile is only on my Patreon, and I do include the timestamp below. And this is one way to kind of help support this channel so that way I can purchase more cards and create more content that is like this. So if you are someone that really wants to help invest in this channel, one of the best ways to do that is by helping helping purchase, the little readings that I do. And I have a lot more readings on my Patreon as well. And if you're a part of the tier program, it is $5 a month. And then you have access to all of the videos that I have without having to purchase each and every single one that is there for you. But thank you so much if you do do that, if I can speak. Now, my other disclaimers here are always remember that you are in control of your free will here, and whatever is revealed does not necessarily mean that everything is set in stone. It takes action, and if you see or hear something and it's not, it doesn't match with your energy or your frequency, then there's, this could be for someone that you were close to and your guides are using you like that radio signal that I like to talk about in my my daily readings that I do. And you are more than encouraged to share this reading if you think that it would benefit someone you love and care about deeply. And the other thing you can do for this is, you have all the time in the world to take this energy and use it for something really great in your life. And if you can't tell, each pile has a affirmation below it. So if you needed a little bit more help in choosing a pile for you, maybe you want to be a creator, maybe you just want to be committed to your goals, but take the energy each pile is trying to give you and make that your intention for the month ahead. And this is a timeless reading, so if you do click into it further down the road, don't be discouraged. There's just something here that you can manifest or use today. And I may not have already said it. If I have, I'm sorry. I'm a little spacey right now. You know, take what resonates and never try to make something click that doesn't sound like it's, in alignment with you. You'll just be very frustrated if you try to force something. If you know a door is open, let's walk through it together. Let this energy be yours and yours only. And I feel like I'm forgetting something else, but I cannot tell you what it is. I can't, give professional advice, but I can share a little bit of my own personal wisdom that I have from my own experiences and what the guides are revealing today. Now, let me go ahead and talk about some of the facts and the highlights that March has. One of them is March is named after the Roman god of war, Mars. So if you resonate with Mars energy or like to tap into that energy that's all about action, being driven towards completing your goals, or even working through emotions, especially around frustration and anger and just balancing those types of energy, then this is a great month for you to work on those things, or even, take a little bit of fire and let that be the torch that, drives you forward. And the birthstones that March talks or has is aquamarine and bloodstone. So aquamarine, if I can speak, is it's serenity, courage, and having clear communication, which I do feel is a big thing for March. I will say that. Wanting to make sure that you were able to get what you were trying to say across in an effective way where there is less misunderstanding. So if you don't have an aquamarine crystal, I recommend you getting one. And then bloodstone, inner strength, willpower, and courage as well. So being able to draw all the necessary energy that you need in order to accomplish anything will be great for you this month. So if you don't have one of those, I'd pick one of those up too. I don't have any of those stones, and I really need to think about getting those. The flower for this month is daffodil, which talks about rebirth, new beginnings, and hope. And I do love that I do have an affirmation for one of these piles that talks a little bit about that, where you are going through a transformation of some kind. And the zodiac energy that is here for this month is Pisces till March 20th, and that's when Aries will take over. I didn't know this, but March has a saying. I didn't research to see if any of the previous months I have done had a saying, but March has a saying that, and it goes like this: in like a lion, out like a lamb. And it is a phrase that was commonly used to um, showcase that March has very stormy weather usually at the start of the month, and then it gets real calmer as spring starts to arrive. And this is known as the National Umbrella Month, which is why I chose the little icon here. So make sure to carry an umbrella with you. Where I live, the weather can be unpredictable. You may need snow boots, you may need swimming gear, whatever the case may be, but make sure you have an umbrella. Another thing about March is some people hear it as the Ides of March or beware of the Ides of March. I don't know why I've heard that before, but Ides of March is a time to settle debts. So if you have something that has not been closed off, or if you owe somebody a good favor, now's the time to settle that debt, put a little bit of that good service out there into the world. And this month, the March full moon will be in Virgo, which I'm excited about, and it'll be on the 3rd. Some of the other names that the full moon has been called is the worm moon, where earthworms and beetles start to come out and they emerge into the world. And it will also have a rare lunar eclipse. Um, let's see what else. So this moon is more focused on being grounded, being very analytical, and thinking about how you can work with your body and your health even. The new moon will be in Pisces March 18th. So imaginative energy, compassion, and it's a spiritual new beginning that can come through that you can take advantage of. But I'm excited for this reading, so if you've stayed throughout the rest of the intro, my disclaimers, and my fun facts that I discover, let's go ahead and do our benevolent intentions. And this is just one way for you to ground yourself to choose a pile for you. So, benevolent spirit guides, ancestors, divine creator, and the highest good version of the listener that they can become, please help them choose a pile or a reading. They're all readings, but help them choose a reading that will reveal the energies March is bringing and help guide them towards the best path with blessings and growth and with much love from your student and teachers. And the last thing we are going to do is doing our breath work. Especially if you haven't had time to breathe today, now's the great time to do it. So we're going to do 3 deep breaths where we are going to focus, we're going to release what we need to release, and then receive any blessings that our guides are trying to give us today. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Last one. Breathe in, Breathe out. All right. If you are ready to choose your pile and see what March has to reveal for you, I'll see you on the other side, guys. Bye. Hi, Pile One. Welcome. Let's go ahead and get started into your month. I will say that you are thinking about the things that you can create or ways in which you can bring all the resources and the energy that you have and put something together this month. And I'm looking forward to see what it is you're creating. But let's go ahead and look at your crystal for this month. So we have Desert Rose. And so, Desert Rose, time travel, ancestral healing, patience. A natural beauty, Desert Rose and its petals were patiently etched by the sand, carrying with them a special message that good things take time. Desert Rose promotes mental clarity by releasing negative belief systems that no longer serve you. Desert Rose has the special power of time travel and is able to heal past wounds that still affect you today and alleviate pain from this lifetime or a past life. Use this stone to connect with your ancestors or past selves you need to reconcile with Pluto in Scorpio. So, if there is one thing that I feel you are creating a sense of open communication with anyone that has a significant impact on your life that you want to stay in communication with. You may even find that you are trying to create a channel where you're staying connected to your past, your present, and your future all together as one source of fluid energy where you are able to tap into anything that you need to release or let go, or see if there is anything that your guides or ancestors are trying to bring in to really put you on the right path or but I do feel like I just imagine someone getting ready to build a road of some sort, and you're making sure that you have all the energy, all the tools in order to pave this road ahead. And you were looking towards any kind of belief system that, did not help your previous ancestors. This makes me think of someone that is looking at the ways people have built roads in the past, and you're wanting something that is going to last a lifetime and past your own lifetime. But being patient, so all the good things harvested are abundant, is key here. Um, I've recently been thinking about plants and crops that I've wanted to plant whenever spring and summer arrives, and things that, work well together. This makes me think of the sisters plants. Um, where you would have, one thing is benefiting the other. Maybe one thing is providing more nitrogen to the soil or gives it a structure for it to be able to climb up it. But I feel like not only are you creating something, you are creating something where there's like a symbiotic relationship with the things that you are planting this month. And you're even tapping into things that may seem very archaic, that people are no longer using anymore, but you're finding that there is use in things that people used to do. And this also makes me think of a rose garden. You're thinking about, how can I make sure that no one tries to come in and take advantage of what it is that I am planting. So you're making sure that your thorns are healthy, they're not brittle. There's nothing that is going to, just pluck what you have. They're going to get stung if they try. So you're making sure you are protected and that people can see that you are still beautiful and authentic. And it's almost like you were trying to say that, listen, if I'm going to be bringing something into this world, you can look at it, but I promise you, if you try to unroot it from where it is trying to grow, you will be pricked. And so you care a lot about, so with this Pluto in Scorpio, it makes me think of, you are definitely creating ways in which you can purge and renew, but have a it's like you're trying to create that balance in your world. And I do love that it talks about reconciliation to move forward. So this month, you may even find that you have the courage in order to, approach something that you have been putting off maybe in this last month, or maybe there were some words that were said or actions that were done in the previous month that you find that in order to create things, you may need to find ways to work together with someone on a project. And if you've had some beef or, negative energy, so here's Mars energy coming in for this month saying, if you need to build something and you have to do it with someone, let's go ahead and figure out ways we can reconcile and put things in the past so that way we can move forward together. But I love that you have chosen the desert rose. It's one of my favorite crystals. And I will say this crystal is very brittle. And you have to treat it very gentle. So whatever you were doing this month, treat it as if you were holding a newborn baby and you have it in your arms. And it's like, you don't want to drop what it is that you have that you care a lot about. Your self-care, self-love oracle here for this month is text a friend and let them know you're thinking of them. And that could be what you're needing to reconcile this month is making sure you have that open communication with someone you care about a lot. Maybe you felt that y'all kind of like dropped the ball, or maybe you're worried that you're not going to be able to reconnect. But I will say with the desert rose coming in that you're going to be able to bring up the good times and the good memories, and you're going to be able to pick right up where you left off. But text a friend and let them know you're thinking of them, in March. I mean, you can do it right now whenever you come across this video. The divine masculine and divine feminine oracle that is coming up, we have two. You are highly capable completing the task, but can someone help? So there's again that thinking that I'm feeling, that thinking that I'm feeling, that if you have been picking up quite a bit, this month is about seeing how you can let go some of, your tasks, things that you need to delegate, so that way you have more time for yourself and can create and have time for your passions and your hobbies, and you don't feel drained. And the other one is, did you exhibit healthy boundaries today? Have healthy boundaries, not just for the people that are around you, but have healthy boundaries for yourself. When you find that you have that inner voice in the back of your head that says, I need you to focus on this, I need you to tackle everything, I need you to stop trusting, I need you, it's like, stop that voice. Have healthy boundaries to that inner critic that says that you need to do it all, because there is things that you can pass off and let someone else pick up. Or if you have any worries this month, release them to your ancestors, release them to your spiritual team, and let them see who they can communicate and hook you up with, so that way you can you can spend more time for yourself. But so this month, I didn't put my astro dice on the board. So let me go ahead and get the astro dice so that way I can talk a little bit about it. All right, so this month's energy, I know I've already been talking a little bit about the desert rose because it's kind of like breaking the ice here, but your month's energy is, we have the moon in Virgo in house 10. And so there's going to be a lot of emphasis on working with your subconscious realm and looking at any kind of psychic revelation that may be coming through, where this is trusting your intuition, like it's the bone knowing intuition, like you can feel something coming through. And so your sense of home and security will be the big emphasis this month. So it did make me, like, I did imagine someone having a garden or having these making sure your defenses were protected, so having those thorns in place. But so the moon is mother energy, and it's tethered to the past in any kind of memory that brings these emotional responses to life, and is asking you to think about ways in which you can nurture yourself and others, and allow yourself to have rest rather than forcing or pushing yourself. So we're thinking about that feminine energy that is coming through, that is asking you to, let someone else pick something up rather than you feel as if you need to do it. Mother energy is very creative, but this could be a need to create more opportunities where you can rest this month and really channel through what your guides are trying to give to you. You may feel as if you have been bombarded with a lot of different messages where, like, your dreams are coming in and you're like, why am I having these dreams? Or you're picking up on the energy of other people and it's making you feel as if you need to do something or assist them, or, communicate what it is that you are seeing. And this can take a toll on you. So make sure that you are resting and finding ways to connect to your personal sanctuary. That way you can quiet your mind. Now, Virgo energy is coming in and it's wanting you to put more service, to yourself. I would like to say that Virgo does like to take care of other people. I'm a Virgo myself, but your guides are wanting you to find ways in which you can give something to another person or release what you need to be working on to spirit, so you don't feel as if it's all on your shoulders, that you don't feel like you need to perfect something. So you'll find that making sure that you have daily rituals are in place, things that are regular for you, where you are finding that, if you need to, lighten the load or make yourself feel as if you're not alone, texting a friend or someone that you trust that you need to share some information with, like, hey, I had a real bad nightmare. Can I talk to you about it? Um, or even, maybe a friend is going to text you and let you know they have things going on, and you were that person that understands symbols and signs all around you, and you're like, oh, well, I know what that dream is talking about. And in a way, it's like a way to, open that channel where you are creating these opportunities to work through. Maybe when it's blocked for you, it's like when you try to discover what it is that spirit is saying to you, you find that helping someone else going through the exact same thing opens a door or unlocks something for you that would have been blocked if you had just kept it to yourself and wrote it down and then scribbled and then marked it out. And then you found that by sharing it, you are finding, oh, that's what they were wanting me to do, and it makes it more clear for you. But this month you may be trying to organize or just find ways to observe things from a quiet place, and may need to put a lot of focus on your body's health and needs. Create the right environment to nestle in and find ways where you can feel whole and complete. Or even like when you're at home, if you are expecting visitors but you just want to be able to walk around in your pajamas, let people know that you need some time to yourself and lock the door. That way you can strip and be naked in your own home and feel comfortable and not feeling as if you're needing to perform or perfect something. The one thing you should be perfecting this month is your sense of peace. But now is a great time to go through some kind of cleansing project even. So like, if you need to clean your fridge out because you have things that have been sitting in past their expiration date, now is a great time to do that. That was one thing that popped into my mind. People are getting ready to do some spring cleaning if you haven't already. So focus on that, clear your mind, clear any kind of clutter that might be there. Any hobbit. I heard hobbit. I don't know why. Habit. And maybe there's some toxic relationships that need to be released, so that way you can take advantage of all the spring abundance that's coming in. but really focus on any patterns that may be here. The house 10 talks about structure, discipline. It talks about your career and your public image and the reputation you have. It's the visible success and the achievements that you can have. And, this whole month is like, I need a sense of mission. Where is my mission at? And I will say your sense of mission is you've already had a lot that you have accomplished already. Now you can actually take this month to relax and focus on, your own personal needs, if you will. This is father energy that is coming. So we have mother energy and father energy coming in. So you may feel called to go and, connect with those kind of energies and, help find that structure and stability. So that way you can bring this mothering energy in and have a scaffold ready for it to be held, and look at your attitude towards authority figures. I did say building a noble structure to hold the container for your divine feminine energy, so that mother energy. But that just keeps repeating in my head, is making sure that you have a place where you can allow for things to flow and be more natural for you. But that's a little bit about that the more energy that is coming in for this month. I don't know why I'm all over the place. But let's think about the structure in which you want your garden to be successful and thriving. I'm going to go ahead and talk about your starseed energy that is coming in today. You can take this as the seeds that you are kind of wanting to plant, or a little way to tap into the stars even. But I'm actually going to read from the book, if you don't mind. That way you can get that good straight from the source energy, if you will. All right. Wait. It's not time yet. Things are being woven. In our fast, loud, reactive, comparative world, where an instant response is so often expected and at times even a currency, it can feel almost impossible to take a breath, let alone give ourselves the space to rest, wait, and reset. We're so often in overdrive, expecting instantaneous results over and over again. And when guidance doesn't come at these extreme speeds, it can feel as though something's gone wrong. But often, not receiving guidance is guidance in itself. When you ask for guidance and don't receive it, it can often mean wait. It's not time yet. The details are being woven. Our challenge is to keep trusting when, on the surface, it appears that nothing is happening. To remember that no matter how long or bitter the winter, spring does not always come. To remember that you don't need to solve all the world's problems in a single day, and that perhaps they'll be better solved with some perspective and a good night's sleep. This card is your permission to slip, to slow down, switch off, and rest. You're being reminded to have patience and to trust the mystery of life, to trust that things are being woven on your behalf. It may not be happening to the timeline you'd like, but if you'd gather up all the patience, it will be orchestrated better than you can ever imagine. So this month, how can you slow down, be more patient, and wait? Trust yourself. Trust yourself this month. If you are a go-getter, if you are someone that needs to be ahead of something in order to feel as if you are successful, your guides are going to say you will be much more successful if you would just wait, take some time to breathe and rest, and then, trust that whatever you need that needs to get done will get done. And there are others that are wanting to come in here and assist you, so that way you can take some much, this makes me think of either a parent that needs some time to themselves, you need a nap, you need to feel good. So allow yourself to wait in this moment. Now the void says stop, embrace winter, great cosmic wound. Everything and nothing exists in the void. It's where all life begins and ends. It's the winter and the womb, the fertile darkness where all things originate and all seeds grow. Comforting and intimidating, freeing and daunting. It can feel both overwhelmingly small and huge. The void is where faith lives. The message of the void is to surrender to the unknown, to allow the fertile darkness of nothingness to nourish the new seeds growing within you, regardless of whether you know what they'll one day become. You're being called to surrender to the mystery of what's next, to rest, and to allow the winner of your life to do the work for you, to hand over your control and trust that just because you can't see what's happening beneath the surface, it doesn't mean things aren't at work. That is just, guys, that is just further confirmation that you need to trust that things will work out, that you can leave it aside. Spirit is already working on ways to help you create that feeling of stability, that trust that you need, that everything is going to work out. Just release it, let go of the control, enjoy this time to rest. But let me go ahead and continue. The greatest weavings happen when we find a way to surrender and trust that our life is being knitted for us right beneath the surface in ways known and unknowable. Now is the time to cultivate faith and allow deep, deep rest. The void often surfaces at the end of a chapter or life phase when we're called to let go of all that we know and identify with. When you're in the void, it can feel scary, and it's as if you should be doing something. However, when this card appears, it's a sure sign that the most productive thing to do is relinquish control and surrender to the changing mystery of your life. So for this month, how are you being called to surrender to the unknown mystery of your life? I got goosebumps. Oh my goodness. But let me go ahead and put these up here and kind of shift these cards off to the side over here. That way I can talk about, so these cards that I'm going to show today are going to talk about your career, studies, finances, or skills that you are working on. Then we'll look at the relationships and how the world may be operating around you. All right, so careers, studies, finances. We have the Six of Pentacles. Now, I already felt that you were someone that tend to give a lot of your time and energy and wisdom to those that are around you. You tend to notice when someone is going without, and it will kill you if you don't have an immediate plan or action in order to bring them out of a cold environment. But this month you are developing a skill where you can be on the receiving end here, where you don't let the woes of the world, where people are struggling, keep you up at night. And your partner may even feel this about you, where they see that your mind is just constantly running and running, and you're thinking of, did I put enough of my love out there in the world today? Or did I do enough for someone? Is someone going to be upset because I couldn't do anything for them? You may be someone that when you see a person on the side of the road and they have a sign and you're not in a position where you could be giving to them, and it really irks you. It hurts you deep down to your core that you're not able to do something. And in that moment, you may even question, thinking, oh my gosh, what if I did have something I could have given them and I didn't, and then I'm gaining bad karma for it? And your guides are saying to let that go. You have a track history already of someone that just gives naturally, the way you speak, the way you walk into a room, the way in which you're willing to give, things off your back even. But you are learning how to balance that part of your life at work even. So, if you are someone that tends to pick up shifts, or find that you're willing to take on extra loads for other people, um, this is something that is coming back in, that all of the good deeds that you have been doing are going to be returned back to you. You may even find that you're able to take a vacation because you have spent so much time, helping other people take their own vacations, and now that's going to be returned back to you. But a lot of people are going to collaborate and cooperate with you at work, and even help share a piece of their knowledge with you even. And and you are trying to find ways, to be generous without, being overly generous, where you find that you may eventually go without. But I love that you have the Six of Pentacles here for, that part of your field for this month. We need more people that are like you, that are willing to help bring more balance to people's life. But you are trying to return that back to you because in your relationship fear sphere, so in your relationship sphere for this month, you're having to discern what is actually meant to be a part of, your thoughts. You have discovered that when you are so worried and consumed with anxiety, it prevents you from getting a deep night's rest. But you are also being very receptive to what your subconscious is trying to reveal to you. This is a great time to look at any kind of emotions that you may be repressing, especially around certain figures in your life. I did talk about your father and mother energy that was coming through. So think about any kind of emotions that may have been repressed from one or the other, and you needing to kind of work through those so that way you can get a good night's or a good sleep of night, good night's sleep. It makes me wonder if this is someone that is on close to being empty. And that's why I can't even speak right now. It's like when someone, like, you go into a diner and they say, I hope you enjoy your meal. And you're like, I hope you enjoy your meal. Like, it's that kind of thing where you're kind of tired. But this is wanting you to look at anything you may feel very confused about in your relationships, anything that may be troubling you. Now, when I was originally drawing your cards for your relationships, I kept getting a whole bunch of cards, like a stack of cards. And I'm like, Spirit, no, I'm trying to make sure that my listener gets their reading. And as much as I would like to be able to go through every single card in the deck and talk to them, which I feel like you need someone to talk to, because you would rather listen to someone else's voice than the voice that is constantly burning through your mind. And and you are worried about, maybe you've had Seven of Sword dreams or Eight of Cup dreams, so where you're worried that someone is going to take advantage of you, or make you look like you are deceptive in some way, or you're trying to come up with a strategy of some sorts. And the only reason I'm talking about the Seven of Swords and Eight of Cups is because that was part of the stack of things that I noticed that came out, but I didn't put it in your card reading because the Nine of Swords can talk about anything and everything that could possibly be on your mind that is running rampant and is giving you a sense of anxiety where you are uncertain. Do I need to walk away from something, or do I need to invest so much more time into this thing that I've already invested in a lot of my resources, or you have been giving so much at work or in your studies, and you maybe have even started your own study group if you've been tutoring or helping others gain knowledge even, and that's keeping you up. And then maybe you're worried, well, how are they going to do on their test, or did I give them the right information, because I was in charge of making sure that they did well, and that the people I invest in are, it's not going to come back on me if they do bad. And but you care a lot. So with Virgo energy, you care a lot about making sure things are right, that everything is going to be okay, and you don't like having to fix mistakes. And if you have to fix a mistake, then that means you have to not let it beat you up within, that you did make a mistake. And you may be thinking about all of these things that you have done in the past that are coming through with your relationships. And you're like, oh my gosh. But there's a need to kind of like let that be released. So if you are receiving a lot of downloads or you're picking up on energy that isn't meant for you, it's just energy that someone has and they are projecting it onto others, then find ways to release that. Have a diary this month if you don't already, or if you find that when you wake up and you're trying to record your dreams and it's like as soon as you put pen to paper, it's like someone is taking an eraser and they're erasing all the things that you want to write down. So pull your phone out and do a voice recording of what you dreamt about. Text a friend, call a friend to say, hey, I need to talk about my dream before I let it go. And that will benefit you greatly. And try to lean away from those thoughts that say, am I giving enough? I'm not giving enough. Or am I being taken advantage of? And then it's just like you're thinking about who is out to get you, and it's giving you a sense of paranoia in your relationship. It's like, is my partner really faithful? And you're having to like go to all of these other times in your life where they have proved they have been generous. They have proved that they have been receptive to your own emotions and have taken care of you. But you are being asked to really look at how, your own it's like you need clarity here in your relationships, and find ways to find that sense of clarity. Actually communicate and make sure you are doing well with those that you want to do well with. Text them, say, hey, how are we doing? Because I can't sleep at night and I'm worried that I may have said something that wasn't, I may have said something in the height of anger or confusion even. So just be okay with clearing the air, if you will. Now, the Nine of Wands, this is like the world, your community, and how people may appear to be especially with the Nine of Swords, you may feel like everybody is on their guard, and it's making you feel a little bit of tension here. Are they on guard because of me? Is it something I'm doing? Or is everybody on guard because they feel like they need to protect themselves from something? There may be people around you that are struggling, that feel overwhelmed and may feel defensive and and paranoid as well. And your guides are letting you notice this about them to kind of see if there's something that I don't think it's something you are doing, but they may be picking up on your energy and they're like, oh gosh, what is going on? She's normally not like this. Or they're trying to get ready for people are picking up that you may be on the verge of going through I wouldn't say an explosion of emotion, but I am going to say your thoughts have the potential to become very explosive if not taken care of. So the Nine of Wands is letting you know that there are people already on the standby that are getting ready to protect themselves, and they're doing it because they love you and know that you don't really mean all the things that you're saying. You're just really tired and need to rest. And but these these individuals that are around you, they understand that you have a lot that you are trying to do for yourself and others, and they want to be able to come in here and help provide this protective layer around you so that way you can heal any kind of wound that may be felt this month. So you do have a lot of support, I will say that wants to come in here. Now I'm going to go ahead and get your Scrabble and your charms on the board. I forgot to do that in one of my last pick-a-pals and I felt bad. But let me go ahead and get your charms on the board. All right, so here's your Scrabble. I'm going to go ahead and kind of talk about it because your Scrabble was a little difficult for me to kind of like discern, but I do feel like you need a little bit more space to yourself because this is blank, or your mind may feel blank, but when you go to bed at night, it's like that's the time when everything starts to kick in for you. And the one thing that kept repeating in my head is like you may feel like you are comparing yourself to others this month, and you're worried about what you have versus what someone else has had, or what someone else has, or you are worried about the fact that someone may not have something, and you're thinking about, what do I have that I can give them? But I do feel like you are trying to compare yourself, compare what others have, compare what it's like, why is it that you're feeling a sense of, I have so much on my plate. Why am I the one that has so much on my plate? And then in the back of your mind of, oh my God, I'm the reason why I have so much on my plate. And I really need to start letting someone take a load off my shoulders here. But that's what I heard. But I'm also hearing a thing of, where are you going? Where do you want to go? And if you can get some, it's like I'm hearing overtime even. It's like, if you do want overtime and you do have rest and that's something you want, then give it to yourself. But if you need time off, think about, where do you want to go in order to get some time off? So that way, you know, be the first one that asks your supervisor before March starts, says, hey, I need some time off. When can you pencil me in so that way I can get a vacation in? Spring is coming and I'd like to do something with it. But think about what you can do in this moment. And over here with Aladdin, because I'm drawn to Aladdin, think about what you're wishing for. And, those wishes that you are making, what are the consequences for those wishes? Or, like, if you are granting wishes, I meant to say it like that. If you are granting someone's wishes, what is the consequence? Are you going to be the genie that ends up stuck in the lamp and has to wait 1,000 years before someone finds you? Or do you need to think about the real things that matter to you most? Because Aladdin, he thought that if he was rich, that if he had all of this abundance, that he would be able to attract the love of his life. But in reality, he had everything she desired anyways, and he didn't need to change a piece of him. And he ended up having to regret some of the things that he wished for. But think about, what that could be for you that truly matters to you. And this rabbit up here, this is, and I do love that it's in a star and it has roses even, but it's surrounding yourself with things that bring you pleasure, that are pleasing to the eye, that, make you want to close your eyes and rest. And in one of my other tarot decks, the rabbit talks about someone that lets their mind run rampant and they release something out to the world. And then it's like, oh, well, we didn't know that, but thank you for giving us that idea. And it's like you're planting ideas in the wrong people and they take advantage of that. Or it's like you said, oh, thank God I have all this time to myself. And then someone says, oh, you need something to do. And, it's frustrating when people hear you, or, like when you're like, oh my gosh. So in relationships, and I have, this is something I have observed from, my own friends and my own family members, that when they start to accuse someone that they love close to them is, they're not pulling their weight, that they're not doing this, and they don't acknowledge the things that they are doing, it pushes that relationship away from them until eventually it's like, well, you keep saying that I want to, leave, or that I don't do enough. So I guess I'm not going to do enough after all. Or other people may have that where, they're saying something and then finally you've had it. And you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to show you that I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to sit on my butt and you're going to see how much I really do in this world. We have this gravestone here, and this can talk about needing to connect with a specific ancestor. If your mother or father are no longer here, they're trying to come in and kind of talk to you, and that may be why there's a little bit of anxiousness here. Is, why am I dreaming about my parents? What is my relationship with my parents? Or look to see what ancestor specifically is trying to come through. And what kind of clear, I can't even speak now, what kind of clear advice that you need in this moment. It can be found here, or even think about something that needs to be buried so that way it no longer resurfaces. We have this magnifying here, so this is really looking at all the details around you that need more attention, just to be aware of what those could be. And this is a little snake and it's a cobra. And I do have a card that talks about cobra energy where we're needing to teach or provide a lesson of some sort, or being ready because there is a teacher that is wanting to come in here to kind of help you, that wants to be very generous with their knowledge even. And then we have this nail filer that is here to let you know that this is a month in order to bring more balance between your divine masculine and feminine energies. You need to have a little bit more self-love, compassion, and care for yourself. And I see these flowers. There's so many flowers that I keep thinking about. But tend to your garden. Tend to things that would make you feel beautiful and make you feel, rejuvenated even. And this is a reflector. Yes, it is a bike reflector. This is a great month to look at any kind of red flags that may be in your life, especially in your relationships or at work, even if you find that you were taking on more tasks than another person. And think about why would you need a reflector on your bike? So that way, if someone is driving at night and they cannot see you, they will be able to see that you are there, that your presence is there. So make sure you have a reflector on, or if you are going through, like if you go through a difficult time this month or things get a little bit hectic, that you let others know that it is not personal, that you were just trying to work through some things, and not to take advantage or try to run you over while you are trying to heal. This is a hook. So this may seem like, what's the hook? What's the catch here? Or even, think about who has a hook in you or who may not be ready to grow up. You're thinking about, why am I the one that has to be the adult always? And then this is a friend. So you're going to find friends in unlikely places, but this friend is going to be able to help you release control, to not try to make things work when you are exhausted. And at first this could even be talking about someone that you may come across at work that at first you're like, oh, I better not talk to them. And then you actually get to open up and discover that, oh my gosh, they really helped me work through something right now. They were able to come in and help lighten the load here for me. And this is a fairy wink. So you may feel connected to fairies this month, or even this. I just heard this. Be careful of those that would try to play a trick on you this month. And that could be what you're thinking about. Even is who's trying to play. What's the catch? What's the hook? What do I need to do in order to gain a little bit of freedom here? But there is a wonderful fairy that may be trying to come in and work with you this month as well. And then the last thing, I almost didn't see this. So this is the crown chakra bead, and it wants you to trust when you don't know everything. And, when you do receive information, you will know what to do when it comes through. But that is your reading, my dears. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here and get on over into another pile. And you are more than welcome to dive into another pile. But thank you so much for being here today. And if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how it resonates. Check back in at the end of the month and let me know how it went. But I'm going to go ahead and head on over. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome. Let's go ahead and dive into your March reading. Now, I will say, so we already have this affirmation. So if you felt called to this affirmation this month, you want to feel as if you are enough and that you don't need to go through any kind of, this thinking of that you have to do more, that you're not having to, prove yourself, even that you are just enough as you are. And if anyone were to challenge you, then you would try to, that would be one thing you would change in your life, is who would be around you. But this month, you want to feel as if you are enough, that you are accepted, that you have all of the necessary things in order to move ahead in your life. But let me go ahead and get your crystal and talk a little bit about it. So we have Moonstone, nurturing, divine feminine, intuitive. Drawing power from the divine feminine, Moonstone connects you to goddess energy, activating your intuition. Moonstone can boost clairvoyant gifts and metaphysical powers, asking that you trust in the unknown, beyond what you can see in this realm. The reflective nature of the crystal is much like the moon phases themselves, a cycle of change from new beginnings to full release. Moonstone balances masculine energy with the feminine touch, teaching the art of receptivity and serendipity. It is especially potent during the waxing moon. And we have moon in Cancer, Libra, and Scorpio. But this month, you are being asked to trust beyond what you can actually see, and to utilize these lunar phases that will be present this month as a key to help open up doors or even close doors behind you. So this is talking about purging, releasing, taking care of your needs, and finding more balance. Your self-care, self-love oracle for this month is embrace your feminine energy. So what does that mean? Be receptive. Allow your intuition to come through, not from a place of fear, because your intuition, it's not going to attach an emotion. It's just going to reveal something. It's going to let you know that it's a tug, it's a pull, but it's not going to make you feel scared or worried or even angry even. But trust your intuition. Allow yourself to create this month and allow things to come through and nurture whatever it is that you are creating. But be empathetic and be more in your body, where you are sensing things and you're allowing for pleasure to come in. Nourish the things that you want to take care of, that you want to see grow. And this is a great time to stop chasing or feeling the need to fix something, to give yourself self-care and practice moment mindfulness, where you are thinking about where you are in the present moment versus where you need to be. You're not thinking about the future, you are just focused on the present. Dream, imagine, create art, but more importantly, allow yourself to feel. And when you tap into your feminine energy, you will reduce, burnout. You will have better relationships with others and yourself, and your overall well-being will be improved significantly. But embrace your feminine energy this month. And your divine masculine feminine oracle is, are you willing to share some of the responsibility? If you felt called to pile one, this energy already that I am tapping into is saying, let me share some of the responsibility that I have. Let me delegate. Let me be okay with giving something that is on my plate to another. And pile one talked a lot about that. And your energy is, you are enough. If you have to give something up, that doesn't mean you are undeserving, that you are a failure of some kind. What it means is that you have trust in whoever you can give this responsibility to, and people want to feel trusted that you are going to it's like not being upset if they don't perform it to your standard. If you haven't showed someone how to take care of a task, whether that be washing dishes, doing laundry, writing an email to an important colleague, let them know this is how you do this task. If you would feel good to give them a oh gosh, it's a how to do my job for a dummy. It's like it's kind of like that, but do it in a respectful way so that way they don't feel ignorant or that they aren't enough themselves, because that is another thing that this energy is trying to say is people want to feel enough when they are with you as well. So if you can practice feeling enough for yourself, then other people will feel that they are enough as well. But be willing to share some responsibility. And I'll go ahead and flip that back over. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about your astro dice that is here. I already have it down here at the bottom, and I almost forgot it for my last pile. But so we have Uranus, radical change. And I was trying to be really careful how I said I am enough, so therefore I should not have to change. But in this way, changing so that way you can feel enough for yourself, not for someone else, but enough for yourself even. And it is in Aquarius in house 4. Things will feel kind of disruptive, or there are things that are changing around you that you are picking up on. And the reason this is happening is it's supposed to kind of shift you to a place where you don't feel like you need to compete with someone else, where you don't need to take everything for yourself. And this is helping you restructure the things that are in your life that need to be restructured. This is where you will find breakthroughs, where like the instant you walk away from a problem, all of a sudden you have the answer in order to fix that issue, that problem, whatever that may be, where you are kind of like tapping into the collective needs. It's like when you stop working on your own needs and start helping someone else with their own needs, it's like, oh my gosh, now I know what I need to do for my my project or my task I was given. But this is a month of where you are trying to live in the future, ahead of the future itself. And that's why Aquarius is coming in, is like, because you are focused on, assisting another person, you are finding that through that service alone, it is giving you a sense of purpose. It is making you feel fulfilled. It is making you feel as if you are enough. By changing the model where you expect someone to come in and provide you what you need, and you are doing it for yourself this month. But there are profound life changes that may come through, and your perception of reality is going to shift. The only time you should be living in the future is if you are trying to think of how to make things better for the future. It's not where you have a sense of fear of what is coming for the future. You're actually creating the tools in the present moment. And this is, you may even find that you were trying to embrace this change, where you were wanting to have a lightning bolt actually thrown at your tower to make it easier to demolish what needs to be demolished. It's like some people are scared of the tower. But in your case, for this month, I feel like you're like, bring it on. I want to make this as easy as possible. So the more that I work on, the more that I provide this feeling for myself, keep hitting me with those lightning bolts, because I want to make sure I'm being very clear about my path. I want to feel clear about my future, and I want to feel as if I am good and I am prepared, and that this feminine energy that is coming in that wants to flow has a channel to flow in, and it's not just a moat that is sitting out this tower that has a drawbridge, thrown on it, and we just get to look and see what is swimming below. I want to actually have a bridge, a canal where I can actually feel that energy traveling through me. But you're making changes for the right reason. You're doing the adjustments that need to happen, and you are creating a boundless space just for you to fill. Not for someone else to fill, but a space in which you can fill. Oh my goodness. Oh, so was channeling Baba Yaga energy just yesterday because I kept seeing her energy present. And let me just reveal a quote for her or from her that I feel may benefit you. So when I came across this, one thing that stuck out to me, and I wrote it down because it was very, very powerful for me. But she she said, or maybe it was one of the characters in her story, but the line was, "You must know every contour of your emptiness before you can know whom you wish to invite in." You must know every contour of your emptiness before you can know whom you wish to invite in. What areas of your life do you feel are lacking? In what ways do you feel you are lacking? And when you can discover all of the corners of your mind, your body, and your spirit that don't feel enough, then you will know what you need to fill in those spaces. And then you will be able to invite someone in, or a friend, or you will be able to have a healthy connection with others if you do this. And I really hope that quote assists you or helps you, but that was very random that came out. I did not expect to use that quote so quick. I was thinking for myself, and but yeah, so there's that. But let me go ahead and say, like, that boundless space that you were trying to feel, think about the ways in which you can feel it this month. Now, Aquarius, you may feel as if you are being pushed to do something, that you are being pushed to create something or move something forward in your life, and you are being given the right energy to do so. And if your home does not have updated equipment, you may feel the need to kind of update something. Think about any kind of tech in your home that would help you. I am, if you're someone that doesn't have a lunar cycle calendar, or a weather device that tells you what the moon phase is in, that'll be one thing you can add to your home, is a piece of technology that'll help you do that, or technology that lets you know where the planets and the solar system are currently. But find ways to put a little bit more science-y stuff in your house, because Aquarius is very high-tech driven, very, very meticulous about having those future products. Even you may even try skincare routines, or you see people trying these face humidifiers that you can create all sorts of different concoctions, and then it's a face mask tuned into your specific needs. But whatever the case may be, I encourage you, look into the market to see if there's anything that can help you with your feminine energy. Now, house 4 talks about your family roots, your sense of peace and comfort, and the home life you desire. So whatever you are trying to create, give yourself this month to do so. You are generating change. Be okay with having to do things a little bit differently. Now, these specific placements talked about someone feeling like they are the black sheep of the family, and this may be why this card called to you, because you do want to feel as if you are enough. And if your family forced you to have to change for the wrong reasons, now you have the opportunity to do the change on your own time. And things may have felt unpredictable or chaotic in your upbringing that forced you to create a sense of independence. Now, if you felt bad because, everybody's like, why won't you talk to your sister? Why won't you talk to your cousin, your aunts, your uncles, mother, father? It is okay to choose your family if they are unstable or if they are not healthy to be around. Choose your family, choose your friends. They don't have to be blood. But allow yourself to give yourself a sense of freedom to choose yourself. Actually start loving what it is that you're trying to create, that sense of inner peace here. But give yourself freedom. And, this is someone that when someone does try to pin you down, you're the type of person that can dig a hole and end up somewhere else. Not digging a hole in a negative way, but it's like someone tries to pin you down and they think that they have you in a spot that, they understand everything that they need to understand about you. And then you're like, I'm going to prove you wrong. It's like someone tries to put their definition of you in front of you, but you're the one that holds the dictionary in your hand that says, really? Because whenever I'm looking at the definition of myself, it's saying, try me. You don't want to try me. And you're like, because I am enough and I can share responsibility even when I'm independent. But I'm going to go ahead and look at I almost like moved this off, but let me go ahead and talk about the seeds that are being planted this month, or even in ways that you can connect with the stars even. But we have forge, don't follow, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had, and loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. Now I'm going to actually read from the book for these. If you wait until the path is perfectly paved, you won't be forging your own path, and you'll likely not even take the first step. Don't let a small detail like being unable to find someone to show you the way be the reason you don't step forward and lead. Let it be the reason that you do. The most courageous and needed leaders are the ones who don't wait for permission or until the morning they wake up feeling ready. They take a breath, put one foot in front of the other, and figure it out as they go. They don't wait for someone to lead them. They lead themselves. This is a card for leaders. You're here to pave a path that hasn't been walked before, to go first and lead the way for others who are calling you in. If you feel misrepresented in the media, step forward for all those who also feel misrepresented. If no one's speaking out on the topics you feel passionate about, share your unique voice. There's no one on earth who comes close to possessing your unique combination of skills, gifts, and life experience. Don't look to those who have come before you to work out your path. Leaders must forge their own. Do it for your daughter. Do it for the younger you. Do it for the leaders who will follow. When you go first, you make it easier for others to follow your lead. Forge, don't follow. This month, you're being asked, how are you being called to forge rather than follow? And how can you be the leader you wish you had? And I will say one of the best things you can do to help develop your leadership is by having trust in those around you and by sharing a piece of your wisdom or sharing some of your responsibility so others learn how to be more independent themselves and be able to do what they need to do even when you are not there. Loosening your grip. We're cyclic beings, and Mother Earth teaches us how to be human every day with the coming and going of the tides and the seasons. If you're clinging to anything, you're resisting the natural flow of who you are. The things we cling to are so often so often those we most need to let go of. The food, the substances, the relationship, the job, the people pleasing. The things we cling to often cover up our most vulnerable space, the part we're most afraid to leave empty, the part we guard and don't let grace into. But by keeping that space covered with something that doesn't serve us or clinging to it for fear of it not staying on its own accord, we prevent ourselves from receiving the things that will. A Course in Miracles tells us, whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. And the Buddha said, you can only lose what you cling to. Indeed, both are true. If this card appears, you're being called to find the courage to loosen your grip and give up control, to release your coping mechanisms and leave space for grace and God to enter, to surrender all that feels dense to the divine. Loosen your grip doesn't mean that what you're clinging to will go away. It may, or it might stay. But you can be sure that what is for you will find you. And you'll breathe easier knowing that you've shifted from relying on your own strength to surrendering to the grace of life. What are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming to take its place? You are enough. And the more that you question your sense of worth, you feel a hole even bigger in your life. Now, as you practice this month saying that I am enough and I will release control on what I need to release, then I will be able to allow for things, for grace to fill in those gaps even. But some people, especially in this day, they need to see someone is paving a specific path that they are too scared to go on by themselves. And when you are sharing that responsibility or letting things go where they need to go, you are telling others that they have permission to do so, and others are waiting for that permission to help a need, to see a need and fill a need even. But let me go ahead and reveal your tarot cards for this month. We'll be focusing on your career, studies, finances, relationships, and how the world may be interacting with your energy this month. So we have the moon in your relationships. We have the Page of Wands, and the world, we actually have two cards. We have the Eight of Cups and the Tower. And I forgot that your pile had the Tower whenever I was talking about the Tower. But that's what I mean is you want that lightning bolt to come in so that way you can go ahead and make the process easier for yourself and build the life that you want, how you want. But so in your career or your studies, finances, we have the moon. There is a lot that could be very shady that you are starting to pick up on, or that you are starting to notice that other people have hidden agendas, and you are kind of wanting to bring light in on the situation where people may have taken advantage of you before. You are picking it up. And you are getting, and I just, look, this kind of like makes me think of the moat kind of going around the tower. And now that you see it, it's like this tower is looking at what is being dug underneath it. It's like people are trying to dig underneath your tower. They're trying to get past your exterior, and they're trying to make you not feel as if you are enough, that you it's like the foundation of this tower was sitting on what used to be solid ground, but now that there are these cracks and a river kind of like running around it and through it, that you are saying, oh, I need to move completely from where I am, because if I don't, then I'm going to fall into whatever this energy is. And this moon energy is saying fear, anxiety. You're going to be put in this place of illusion even. But people don't feel, it's like no one is starting to feel as what they seem to be, and you're picking up on it. And your instincts are wanting you to notice which energies are you feeding. Are you feeding, and this can even talk about people who don't feel as if they are enough, and they are projecting that on to you. And now you are trying to learn ways in which you don't feed that energy, and you don't let them feed you that kind of energy. But if you're worried about your career and you're uncertain of the direction you are going, now's the time to really think about what your dreams are trying to reveal this month. So tap into your subconscious and see what is, what kind of future are you wanting to make for yourself? If you've been watching other people choose their own path, remember, you were meant to forge a path that is new, that hasn't been created yet in this lifetime even, it feels like. We have Aquarius coming in here. So if you want to know what is in alignment for you. Think about a need that no one has fulfilled yet. That will give you a sense of purpose here that will drive you forward. And this can even talk about the need to not make any kind of major decision until you have all the information you need. There's something here that is lurking beneath the depth. Something that has been swimming that needs to be dealt with. I see these horns on here, and this also makes me think of like crocodile energy, the need to wait, and then when it is time to pounce, then you will know. But make sure you're getting the information from the right people. If you are put on a project of some kind, always ask, what is the deadline? How long do I have to work on this? What is each person's responsibility for each task? And that way you will know if someone, is picking up more than they should, or if they're trying to pass something off that they don't want to do onto you. Or if you're finding that you want to be trusted at work and you want to be given an opportunity to try something new for yourself, and maybe you have been put in a position where you are the one that is the only person that your work trusts to do a job, and it is limiting you from being able to pick up on other things, or being able to stand up for yourself and say, I've had enough and I want to try something new. I've been doing this since day one and now I don't want to do it anymore. Or people are starting to question whether or not that I can handle the job, and I don't want to be questioned. I can prove that I can do the job. I'm sorry, my voice keeps closing up. If you don't feel as if you can speak up at work, now's a great time to start breaking down the barriers of communication to discern, is it me that feels like I can't speak up, or is someone intentionally coming in and preventing me from, it's like maybe someone is in trouble and they are, and you've had enough of it. And anytime you go to talk to your superior, they're always there. And it's like you want to talk to your superior, but they're always there. And honestly, if they're doing shady things and they're always around their boss so that way they don't get caught, go ahead, throw it on the table right there in front of them and said, hey, I'm glad that we're here to talk about this, because I actually need to talk about this job that I've been doing, that I need to have someone come in and share some of the responsibility. So let's reanalyze who is supposed to be doing what. Let's go into this office together. And either A, they're going to say, oh, I've actually got stuff that I need to do, but they may want to be there to listen that you were done pulling the weight of whatever it is. But this is a month to stand up for yourself, to have courage, and to walk away from situations that do not fulfill you. Situations that constantly make you feel unstable or unsteady or uncertain of your future where you are working. But you are learning ways to feed the right energy and not the wrong. You are trusting your instincts. You are trusting your intuition. You are, letting what is being revealed be revealed. And then you are saying, I'm not going to put up with it. And you're going to loosen your grip on, that emotion that is coming through that you're trying to hold on to, especially if you find it's hard to speak up. Now, in your relationships, we have the Page of Wands. So here's what I do kind of want to say about this Page of Wands. Something is inspiring you and motivating you to take action. It could be a partner you are near that you were opening up to about things going on around you. And this partner, this friend, whoever this is talking about, is basically giving you the torch or the whip to put things back in shape if you need to. And they want to help continue to develop your growth on a much more personal level. And you are moving away from relationships that do not serve you well. And you're opening up to trying new things. You may even find that there is someone that is like, if you're not in a relationship already, someone comes out of the blue and they have this young vitality. They're very vitality. They have a lot of vitality. It's like youthful energy that is coming in. And this person, the way they make me feel is if they'll walk by you and slap a face mask on you and say, you kick back, you relax, and let me take control of all the shadiness that's going on. This makes me think of a friend that would show up at work if you're having problem with someone who is stalking you, that won't leave you alone. And they're like, let me deal with it. I'll burn the place down. I don't recommend that. Please don't burn your work down. But the relationships around you, they want to come in and support you tenfold, especially if you're having to walk away from something where people are trying to control you, trying to prevent you from leaving. They're coming in here to show you that, they've got youth. They've got all the time in the day to deal with this. Just be very weary, because this is the Page of Wands, making sure that they don't get out of control. And, you are letting them invest in their curiosity in the right ways where they don't push past, your boundaries that you have. But, this is, if you are in a relationship, you are willing to grow and develop this relationship. And it's giving you a new mindset or a new sense of direction. Whereas at work, you may feel, or even, if you're studying something, if you're in college and you're uncertain of where you're wanting to go with your life, this is someone that is trying to kind of like really help you open up your world, open up your mind, and think about the things that you need to leave in your life. They're the ones that is going to encourage you to take the energy that you have and invest it in the right areas of your life, because they may see that, like I said, I do feel like someone is taking advantage or going to try to take advantage of you this month, but this reading is here so that way you can change your future. And you may even find that when you have this reading and you're like, I'm not going to let that happen to me, and then you find that you are now called to another pick a pile reading that I have. And you're like, okay, I now know what I need to do. Let me go see, now that I already know. It's like you are changing fate in your hands because you are forging a path. Now, the Eight of Cups in the Tower. Do I stay? Do I go? Do I keep myself entertaining the wrong energy? Or do I invest in myself or invest in the right people? You're going to be asking yourself, can things improve if I try? Or is it, is everything a lost cause? Focus on what is important to you and what matters most. Drift away from, one space to the next. Drifting from one space to the next is what I'm hearing is, allow yourself to kind of move where you need to go. This makes me think of Howl's Moving Castle. Your tower was not meant to stay in one spot. Your tower was meant to be free, meant to have legs, meant to move around. If you don't know who Baba Yaga is, or, have never worked with her energy, really look at it, because she can be very transformative and help you be a hero of your own life. You may go in, but she values courage. She values people who are resilient, and the tests that she gives you are not easy. So this tower you have needs to be able to move and flow and change and grow in the ways that it needs to. And really look to see what space you need right now. And even though you may be free falling through this chaos, but like, you're ready for it. This is something you wanted to do. You have the parachute now, and when you're ready to land, you'll be able to let the parachute go, and then you'll know which cup you want to land into as you were falling. But you are also noticing as you were falling, all these cups are repeating, and you're noticing these patterns that need to be worked on. And this this also makes me feel as try to avoid a burning train. If you watch, chaos and it makes you feel anxious, try to move away from that so that way you're not watching everything fall apart. Or this also, it's like you are predicting that this is all going to fall apart and you're doing the shaman dance in the background. And you're like, I told you that this person was going to do this. Now look, everybody's leaving the project. Or maybe you needed to stand up and leave a project that had has no value or direction even. And by you standing up and leaving something you don't support, everybody else does it too. But let me go ahead and get your Scrabble and your charms on the board before I forget. All right, here's your Scrabble and your charms. Oh my goodness. The way this reading has flown, and now that I'm seeing the Scrabble that came out and the charms. Okay, so first off, get nut jars. Now, originally, whenever I put this out, I was thinking of someone needing to have a container for all the potential things that are going to come to them this month. But I feel like this is Spirit being real funny and saying, get ready for the chaos and be ready to put a quarter in every time things get a little bit crazy. Or be ready for the crazies to be out because they may jar you. Just be aware, be careful when you're walking out, especially at nighttime. But potential here is originally what I got it for. And we have a couple of dragons here. And, I heard Shrek and Fiona where, she's a girl dragon. It's like nobody expects you to actually tap into this feminine energy because they're so used to you taking a very independent, very controlling, perspective on things where you feel like you need to do it. And the instant you start taking care of yourself, maybe you don't put makeup on, maybe you don't do your hair, or whatever the case may be, the instant you start doing it, everybody sees you turn from this dragon that is ready to breathe fire to this very docile, very feminine, it's like your skin's very smooth and supple and more approachable. But there is a need to promise yourself, because there's these 9 gems on here. Promise yourself that you're willing to do what is necessary in order to feel abundant, where you feel like, things are going to come to fruition in your life and you're going to attain the things that you want that will make you feel fulfilled. And we do have these 2 dragons, so this makes me think that there is treasure that is worth protecting here within you. And, you are going to find that you are going through obstacles. And talking about these illusions, when you do finally approach a situation, maybe you thought that your manager would not let you take some time off, or your manager wouldn't let you, share some of the responsibility with another person. And then you find out that they are actually this very sweet, they're very empathetic. This makes me feel like they are empathetic, and they're not actually going to breathe down your throat. Oh my goodness, that was a horrible. And oh my gosh, if you were thinking of your boss breathing down your throat right now, I really hope you can get that image out of your head. But what do you want your pizza to look like, guys? Do you want it to have pepperoni, sausage? But you were being given the choice to just, figure out what do you think will make you 100% happy today. And then you get to choose the toppings. You get to choose the crust. You get to choose it all. So go nuts. If I've heard somebody ordering a peanut butter jelly pizza. I don't know what that would taste like or if that would be good, but it might be. You never know, guys. Get crazy with it. This Leo talisman down here is be raw, authentic, be confident, step out into the spotlight, be okay with sharing the spotlight with someone else. Trust your intuition on this, trust it and let it guide you, because it's here to help you and make you become the highest good version of yourself. And then we have this this makes me think of Kundalini risings, but also being able to express your truth and not feel as if your communication is blocked. And if something doesn't fit, you are able to take it off and find something else altogether. This key is letting you know this month you may be given an opportunity to unlock something in your life that will be much more grounded and stable for you. This is an anchor support. You may even find that you are about to enter a new home even. So if this is something that has been giving you a little bit of anxiety about, you're having to learn how to deal with these kind of stressors in your life. And you've got someone in your life that is just bouncing all over the place and trying to give you the energy that you need, and they're zapping you with their wand saying, here's an energy drink, here's an energy drink. And so that way you don't walk away from something that is really good. Now this is a bag, and it's the smallest bag that I have in here. You are being very careful about what it is that you are going to carry with you, and the less you have to carry, the more freedom you have to move around. This is a chakra bead necklace that just came undid. So really look at whether or not your chakra system is loose. If it's, you find one area takes more control over the other, but really see and look, there's one blue bead on here. So the emphasis on being able to express yourself authentically. And then the last thing is we have this golden necklace, and it makes me think of a healthy, vital source of information, because originally this was supposed to symbolize snakes. And I have another one in my charm basket that is really thin, but this one is the healthy one. This is the one that you trust to give you the right information, and has a clasp. It has a way of holding on to things that need to be held on to. So whatever cycles that you find are benefiting you to help you release and give yourself more self-care, keep doing those this month. But that is your reading, my dears. I'm going to go ahead and head on over to the other pile. But if you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how it resonates, and check back in and at the end of the month and let me know how it goes. Hi, pile 3. Welcome. Let's go ahead and dive into your reading. Now, you choosing I am transforming. You are accepting any kind of change, any kind of thing that is going to help build you or even help you shed any kind of skin that you don't want to carry this month. And I'm very proud of you for choosing, a period of transformation, especially if this is the kind of energy you want to step into. But let me go ahead and talk about the crystals. You actually have 2 crystals here that came out. And so we have this beautiful green gem. So this is jade, wisdom, abundance, and good luck. Jade is highly prized and sacred, a wonderful stone for protection and healing. Known as a dream stone, jade will stimulate messages and channel them into your dreams when placed on your third eye chakra. The ultimate good luck charm, jade promotes prosperity in every aspect of your life by opening the heart chakra and boosting your ability to receive. Wealth is nothing without your health, and jade is a reminder of this true abundance, amplifying the good fortune of your vitality. Remember, you are a spiritual being having a human experience, with Venus being in Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Libra. So, big emphasis on taking care of your health. That is what's going to help you transform this month, especially if you find that you have been taking care of other people's needs versus your own, or if you have been putting things on the back burner. Or maybe you haven't been taking in enough water, or eating enough healthy foods, especially green foods, because this makes me think of vegetables and stuff, or maybe even a green apple. But you are putting your health first. And these dreams that it's been talking about, that has been a recurring theme in every pile before this one, where there's an emphasis on paying attention to your subconscious and whatever is being revealed, so that way you can step into a state of knowingness, where you finally understand, and you can now start having different types of dreams, even where you can you break one cycle or one habit, and now you're focusing on a different habit, and it's helping you stay in a where you are committing to yourself this month. But this month you are opening yourself up to receiving anything and everything that is going to bless you this month. This other crystal that we have is obsidian, which I do have right here, and I've actually been wearing this quite frequently, and I'm going to talk about, some of the interesting synchronicities that have been occurring. So obsidian is shadows, mirror, amorphous, a dark and mysterious crystal. Obsidian reaches into the depths of our shadows, shedding light on what needs to be healed in order to move forward. Obsidian serves as a mirror, revealing our deepest truths. Obsidian's crystalline structure is amorphous, moving beyond conventional time to dip into the past, present, and future, and wielding great power to clear any obstacles. Use obsidian as a shield against psychic attacks and to ground your base chakra back to planet Earth, with Saturn being in Sagittarius. I do love that it's saying Saturn and Sagittarius, because look at the areas of your life that start to feel restricted or prevent you from being a leader or feeling optimistic about what is coming in your life. If someone is trying to, dampen your mind with all sorts of, this is going to be bad for us, this is going to be the worst thing possible we could ever be going through, but you are seeing this as an opportunity to work on any kind of shadow that is being illuminated in the sunlight, and transforming or helping align your shadow so it works with your light even. But I love that you are going through this period of just really being a warrior to any areas of your life that need a sword or need clarity even. But you are looking at your reflection without fear. And I'm going to go ahead and reveal your self-love oracle for today. So we have higher your vibration, turn on your favorite song. So what is, when you're hiring your vibration, what is it helping you do? Well, it's helping you reduce anxiousness. It's helping you potentially lower your blood pressure. If you find that your blood pressure is just, you can feel your heart beating in your own veins, well, this is going to help you kind of release some of that pressure and help, especially if you're someone like when you find that your blood pressure's through the roof, or when you're really tired and then you're very sensitive to any kind of pains that you may have, or like when you stub your toe, it feels like you broke your toe. This is going to help you with, that sensitivity level, and improve sleep quality, even help you improve your mood or your mental alertness, so that way you can pick up on any kind of any positive energy as well as negative energy that's trying to come in, and it's going to help you with your memory much better. Because if you find that you are cycling through your subconscious and there's one memory that keeps replaying over and over again, the instant you take care of it, now you've opened up a file for more information to come in, if you will. But this is so you can bounce right back out of stress and negativity and pass the torch on to other people by, hiring your vibration. It helps lift other people's vibration even. But this would be a great time to connect your body through movement. So your favorite song, start dancing with it when you're washing dishes or cleaning your house, or if you're allowed to have music at work. I know that sounds horrible if you're not allowed to have music at work, but play something that will help your body move naturally to a different beat rather than listening to your own heartbeat in your head when things are quiet. I know, like, I have to have a fan on at night because I can hear everything in my house, and like I can even hear ringing noises, and my ears will do this thing where one side of my ear will sound like it's going deaf and then the other one is like really loud. So, find things to help you not pay attention to all the subtle things that are going on around you. Your divine feminine and masculine oracle for this month is: why are you acting challenged or competitive? When your senses are all over the place, and if you are struggling with issues of feeling enough, so if you felt called to this last pile, I will say that you would benefit greatly from listening from that, after this reading and then listening to that. It's like, I can see this person going in, I'm ready to transform. And then you get into the other reading and it's like, I'm ready to change. But why do you feel like you need to compete against others? Why do you feel like you need to be first place? Why do you feel like you are not, worthy as you are in this moment, that you feel you need to constantly metamorphosize? Or I heard Power Rangers in my head. But why do you feel like you need to defend yourself in this moment? And that'll be a thing to work on. This could be a shadow quality, even, where it's like you didn't feel as if you were good enough if you weren't first place. Or there were other people around you that were really good at something and you felt like you needed to be just as good as they are, if not better than them. It's like, oh my God, that movie my husband just watched, if you're not first place, you're last. And that is, have healthy expectations for yourself. And okay, now I understand why this energy would come out, because I'm about to start talking about your astro dice that was rolled. So we have Neptune in Virgo in the 12th house. That makes a lot of sense, because Virgo energy is very competitive, mostly with themselves. They set high standards for themselves and they tend to beat themselves up. And if they don't feel as if they are good enough, then they feel like something is wrong with them, or that they need to completely take away every piece of themselves and rebuild themselves completely again. But so let me go ahead and talk about your astro dice. So Neptune in Virgo in house 12. You are going to be a big psychic sponge to all potential kinds of downloads this month. You're having an unconscious connection to the spirit realm, and that is why you are going to need to find ways to protect yourself and think of ways that you can ground yourself while you are going through this period where you are gaining wisdom and abundance. But it's like you are attracting good things and bad things at the same time. So pay attention to any kind of subtle vibration that may be going on, because those are going to be like the cookie crumbs that'll help you get to some kind of mystery that you are about to solve. You are the Sherlock Holmes to the universe and spirituality here. Meditation is going to benefit you greatly and be a powerful tool. You may even find that you are healing, counseling, or providing some kind of spiritual guidance yourself for others. So as you are, and I can even attest to this, when you are helping another person and you are opening up and trying to pick up on what spirit guide is trying to help reveal so you can say it to them, you will pick up on so much different kinds of energy. Maybe someone is feeling challenged in their life, and then you start to feel challenged in your life, or this person feels like they need to compete for people's validation, and so you start to feel like you need to compete. That is something that needs to be transformed, so that way you don't transfer that kind of connection as if it's your own. But look for a Watson to keep you grounded, because Sherlock Holmes is not able to do his job if he didn't have Watson. And, use analytical skills to piece any kind of puzzle that you're trying to put together. And, this month, I can't even, like, Spirit is saying, you are Velma this month, and you're breaking down mysteries with the Scooby Gang, and you need Scooby, you need Fred, Daphne, and you need Shaggy. You need all of them to help you piece together the mystery this month that is going on. But you may do tarot for yourself. And this is like, what I love about you is that is how your spiritual team is working with you this month, is they're going to help you find those people that will help you not feel as if you're doing it all by yourself. I grew up with Sailor Moon, and my sisters did too. So we have a lot of love for Sailor Moon. That's why I love planets and moons, and it really probably why I even got into tarot even. But, you started off with these magical powers and you're transforming, and you realize that you can't save the universe by yourself. So then you find Mercury, you find Mars, you find all of these other planetary energies to really help boost you this month. And Neptune is being that antenna to really help you tune into what it is that is going on. But let me go ahead and reveal the star seed that may be planted this month, or may even help you, tap into the stars even. So we have the weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Synchronicities. I love it. When Spirit is like, I love when Spirit is like a book that you can read from beginning to end, and like everything is just, it's picking up from the last thing that was said, or really helping you. And you may need to hear that. Pay attention to those confirmations that are going on. Write them down. Write down any kind of confirmation you receive this month. So, weight of the world. You don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty and bogged down by the weight of the world. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's, to stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders, to put on your own oxygen mask first. In these changing times, it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. However, you can't take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. This card is thanking you for caring so much. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others, and that's incredible. But the way you've been doing so is likely unsustainable. This isn't to say you should switch off to the world's problems and become unconscious. Rather, it's a call to establish clear boundaries so you're not constantly taken out energetically. The planet needs you to be healthy, both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news or reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first to a nourishing practice such as meditation, soul inquiry, deep breathing, or exercising in nature. Once you're in a state of grace and your inner well is full, you can face the day, the state of the world, and care for others. And at the day's end, take an energetic shower by emptying out anything that's not yours to carry. You can pick it up again the next morning, if you so choose, but give yourself time and space to rejuvenate and rest. What are you carrying that isn't even yours? And I love that. My dears, you are, Virgo's sense of self, sense of service to others in spirit, and you feel this call to make the world a better place. You feel this need to really help others, and your guides are wanting you to find ways, give yourself service. You don't need to sacrifice all of your time and energy, but this is a great time to heal, work through any kind of karma wounds that you may have, so that way you can be of service to others. The world is not going to end if you so choose to close your eyes and go to sleep for a little bit. I will say that. Let me go ahead and put your tarot on the board for you today. So this is your career, your studies, this is financial situation that we have going on. And then we have the relationships. And I do believe I had it in reverse. I do believe it was in reverse. And then we have the Four of Coins. So first off, if you felt called to pile two, the reason I say that is because I was talking about Baba Yaga in pile two and how she would be a great guide to really help you go through any kind of transformation, even though it would be very, it's not an easy lesson to take in. And she only works with those who are courageous, resilient, and not there to have basically someone hold your hand. She can be very stern and very strict with her teachings and can just seem like an old crone, if you will. But Baba Yaga, there are a couple of signs that you will know if she is trying to work with you this month. One of them is obsidian. So if you felt drawn to obsidian of late, this pile caught your attention. It's like she's revealing things without you knowing she's revealing things. But she will make you feel challenged. She will make you feel competitive. But when you go through, when you are very kind to energies that, think of Beauty and the Beast, like she's that kind of witch that would show up. And if you are disrespectful to her and her energy and her time, or would try to put her out, then she is going to put you in an oven. But this oven it has the potential for a rebirth. So your career, you may feel a little bit of resistance here, where you want to protect your boundaries, and you're even trying to learn how to do that for yourself. And she's coming in to let you know that this is a test. This is a trial. And she is trying to determine if you are actually going to pass it. And it's up to you ultimately if you're going to stay in this kind of energy. So you may feel very defensive about the things that you are doing. You may even find that people are questioning why you may take risks at work. But if you are taking a risk at work, why are you taking those risks? Do you know that there is an easier way to go about this? Now, I will say, Baba Yaga will not let you cut corners with her. That is, it does no good for you to try to be taken. It's like the trials of the world, even, I will say, if you were picked up, versus someone who is hiking up a mountain. And at first, you just want to get to the peak. That's all you're thinking about, is getting to the peak. And you're thinking, well, I can just get up there if I have someone, get a helicopter and drop me off on the mountain. But then you forget, the process of the importance of being able to climb and rise to your own challenges versus someone taking the challenge for you. It doesn't feel as fulfilling here. So think about ways that you may try to cut corners and how that could prevent you from transforming and being the best version of yourself and being able to actually tackle, an actual obstacle. It's like when you fill your resume up, and were you the student that studied, or are you the student that says, Lisa has all the answers. Lisa chose A, B, and C on, question 3, 6, and 5. And I will say, okay, now that I'm thinking about studying and whatnot, our teacher in 4th grade used to move us around quite often. And I did not want to be put next to people who would cheat, because I felt as if they were getting it off easy. So I was very competitive, And I didn't want people to take things the easy way, because if I had to struggle, I wanted someone else to struggle, and that's such a bad thing to say like that. But I wanted to make sure everything was fair. And Virgos, you want everything to be fair, everything, the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. And if somebody were to be given a chocolate bar for having a 99, a 95, or 100 on their test, and you're like, they didn't even study, they just copied my paper. I sat next to somebody and they were constantly getting really good grades for the things that I had to study and remember. And they even nonchalantly, if I can speak, nonchalantly, I can't even say it, they let their pride get to the best of them. And they basically told everyone in the class why they were passing their grades. And then it was like opening up a door for other people in the class to copy what I was doing. So I intentionally filled out one of the tests that I did. Like, I filled it out and, got to the last one, and I watched this person fill out the last one, and then they got up to go, turn their paper in, and then I erased it and put my actual answers, and they bombed their test. Giving a people a sense of karma so they understand that you are not someone to trifle with. And that is what Baba Yaga is trying to help. I don't know why she specifically is coming in for my reading today, but she feels very called to let you know that she doesn't want people to cheat off your test. She wants people to actually go through their own trials themselves, and you should feel very protected and not make, it's like all these people, and you know how mad this person was when they failed their test. Do you realize what they stopped doing? They stopped trying to cheat off my paper. And I did have to defend myself even, because they, even the teacher, eventually she caught on to what he was doing, and what all when the whole class starts answering the same question the same way, it looks bad. And then she kind of rearranged everybody exactly where they needed to be. And the one thing I do love about this card here is, in order for you to approach this house, you have to say the right things. Otherwise, no one is going to turn or pay attention to what you have going on. And you're like, why can't I just get what I need to get over with? Why can't I just enter the door, Lisa? Why is the chicken house running from me? And you have to be able to speak to it. You have to know what to say in order for this house to turn around, to go through this transformation. And I think it's like little hut, turn your door towards me and your back to the forest so I may enter you. It's something very much like that. But this is important for your journey. This is important for your growth in your career, is to figure out what is the right thing for you. How do you want the easy way out? Or do you want to be able to go through the grit, go through, the motions, the elbow grease, where you're focusing on what is important to you spiritually. But this girl right here, she is holding a doll that looks very much like her. And the last time I had this card come up, and because we're talking about shadows, this is doing some inner child work. If you have been questioned in your early upbringing and you grew up in an environment where you felt like you had to be the best one out of everyone in your family, or your good wasn't good enough, this is a shadow for you to be able to work through, so that way you can pass this course and not feel as if, when someone questions your work or wonders why you turned in something the way you turned it in, you'll be able to answer it from a very authentic place that is nurturing, that is, you're open to feedback even. But don't take on any other commitments when you are at work or when you're studying and you need to focus on something so you can pass this test even, But focus on your own game, not what other people are doing. And don't worry if somebody's peeking over your shoulder. If you're worried people are cheating off you, open up to the teacher, even. But in your relationships, there is a sense or a need for wanting closure. You may feel emotionally attached to people. If you are thinking about what college you are going into, but you're very attached to your hometown, even, or your friends. Maybe you're wanting to go to college with your friends, or you're wanting to leave a career, but you really enjoy the employees you are around. But this is a sense of needing closure and finding how are you emotionally attached to something and how can you develop a healthy way to move on where you're not worried that other people are going to be upset for doing what is right for you. Maybe you don't feel challenged any longer and are looking for a challenge. And by doing so, yes, everybody's like, why are you leaving your department? Well, I'm doing this because it's good for me and it's going to help me, end a chapter in my life and begin something new. This card is wanting you to embrace where you currently are and not feeling frustrated, or it's like if your relationships aren't struggling, it's like, why are my relationships not struggling? There's a good reason. You're doing something right. There's no need for conflict. There's no need to have a sense of paranoia, but embrace where you are so you can learn, all sorts of different aspects of yourself when you are with someone. And if you find that you are in a relationship and you need to let go and move on, find ways to journal or write down the pros and cons of why you need to leave a certain situation. Practice visualization where you can imagine what it would be like if you had the best life possible because you have moved on. Do some energy work, maybe even look into some therapy if you need assistance. But fulfill a big goal or a big project with necessary steps. So if you're trying to leave a relationship in order to step into a healthy relationship, even, or where you can open up and, communicate with others or step into that new career, think about what step you would have to build in order to get there. You already know what you want. Now imagine what the steps would look like. So you can't see the steps where Baba Yaga's house is because you have to have the house turned towards you. And then you have to create those steps for yourself. But experience the trials and tribulation that is going on. The world talks about that. But re-energize yourself. If you need to step away because everybody is trying to make you match their energy, or you're picking up on that energy because you are, like I said, Velma is trying to come in here and figure out the mystery of Baba Yaga. Or everybody is saying, like, don't go talk to that lady. Yes, she has a lot of information. Yes, she knows quite a bit about what it is she's experienced in, but don't go talk to her because, look, we all ended up like this as a fence post, but they didn't pass her test. Now, in your world, so the energy that may be affecting you this month, this could be your sense of service or your community even, we have the Four of Coins. So you're wanting to kind of save your energy or even save back whatever you need to save back, not taking risks with your finances on things that may try to take control of it. This is a time to be very conservative, but don't allow yourself to lose a healthy relationship with money. Control what you need to control, budget what you need to budget, but don't feel as if you need to hoard all of your energy and not actually be able to use it. So when you are saving for like a big house or a big home, or even if you're getting married, even so if you're stepping into a marriage of some sorts, if you have finally saved enough so you can do those things, then you should be able to freely be able to use it. Now, this specific mythology, or this story that this talks about, this is the condor and his wife. And a big emphasis on relationships, I feel, for this month is, so the condor hoards his wife and hoards all the finances and the abundance that is going on in their life. She does not want to be with him, and she does not like the habits that he has. He understands that she is very unhappy with him, and that she does not actually want to be with him, and that he is controlling her and forcing her to stay in this environment, and does nothing to help it. If you are in a situation where you feel like that, please open up and communicate to those who can come in and help remove you from this world that you may be in, so others are not controlling your money or your hard-earned work. It's like you're holding, this one little piece of yourself, because you do not want this energy to take a hold of it and keep it for themselves. But whatever changes you need to make for yourself this month, or changes that need to transform, please go ahead and think about them right now and see who has control over my energy. Is this a psychic download that is coming in, and this is someone else's projection I'm picking up on? Or am I actually, the fence isn't really on fire, the house isn't a chicken. I'm able to pass my trials. But if you are a student, please make sure to get some rest, and allot some time where you have a part of your day where you can study or prepare for that next journey in your life. Really visualize what you're wanting. I'm going to go ahead and get your Scrabble and your charms on the board. All right, here is your Scrabble and your charms. So let me go ahead and dive into this. So this a lie can have a space, because this is a blank tile. A lie can have space between each ear and cycle around eye. So this is saying lies try to come through, but cannot, because everything I hear is not everything I have to listen to. So this is trusting who you have to listen to. It's like, if you were to go to each of these people and they say the exact same lie, and then you go to one person and they say something completely different than what everyone else is repeating, and then you discover, oh, the mystery that I'm trying to solve requires me to not just accept the first thing I hear, but to investigate and figure what has been a lie my entire life, or a lie that other people have been spreading or sharing that isn't true. But you have the ability to discern what is truth from fiction, because you are very in tune with your spiritual team with Neptune, and your guides really want you to be really careful of what is being revealed. Oh, benevolent energy setting, that has to come through when you are tapping into your spiritual realm. If you've never practiced this, I encourage you to do it, because I didn't start doing this until I came across a tarot reader that started off her readings this way, or even talked about it. When you sit down and you are having a reading, or you are revealing information for yourself, always speak out to your spiritual team, or when you're writing and scrying, or you're doing what is it called, scriptive text, but you're channeling. Automatic writing is what it's called. Benevolent spirit guides, ancestors, divine creator, and the highest good version of myself, please help me reveal information. The key thing there is adding benevolent or good in front of that, so you are not opening up your door to not just good energy but bad energy. You are closing it off to only benevolent energy. And I remember working with a girl in retail, and I was opening up about my tarot journey, and how I'm very specific whenever I'm doing a reading. that I don't pick up on bad energy. And she was like, oh, I welcome it all, in like a very devious kind of way. You know, people may try to use um dark magic, or dark arts, or whatever, when they try to put a hex on someone. A curse is only as powerful as if someone believes that a curse can work. I believe in positive energy, and I believe in, blessing another, and I believe in karma, and I believe that when you give someone bad energy, it returns back to you, even. Focus. So whatever you are sending out into the world, make sure that it's the kind of energy you would want to be received back to you. Make sure you are in the right environment when you are, tapping into that spiritual world. Now, your charms over here, we have this portrait, and it makes me think of the need to find ways to be more authentic with yourself, but be protected at the same time. It's like people are trying to see, what is your picture that you're trying to show everybody, and everyone has a different description of you. They are uncertain of what you're truly like on the inside, but you aren't hiding anything. Like, your picture isn't here. You are showing everybody the most authentic side of yourself at all times. We have this little samurai sword here. Being able to cut through any kind of cords you may find that need to be cut, or to have a clear vision here of where you need to go. This can even talk about the Ace of Swords, making sure that what you are communicating is true, and understanding that, a sword is double-sided. So how you cut through the world versus how the world will cut through you. And then we have this ring over here, and it makes me think of a snowflake. So, or even the sun even, but trust your identity, be able to put yourself in the spotlight, and give yourself that opportunity or that promise to shine the way you were meant to. And this is a Saturn pin. So any part of your life that feels restrictive is there for a reason, to help build you and make you a stronger person. And there may be a need to, define what kind of freedom do you want in this life. And if you are able to go through this period where, yes, there are walls around you, but once you pass the test, the whole world is open for you then. And I probably already talked about this, but the clues in your life, there are people around you that your guides are wanting you to focus and see who is taking control of this mystery. Is it you, or is someone else trying to hide the clues here? Who is trying to be deceptive? Then we have this yin choker. So if your divine feminine energy has been choked, or has been prevented from being able to express this, itself in this life, then use this month to tap into it, where you can nurture, give yourself self-care, be able to flow, be able to create, be able to nourish and nurture all the good things. This is a dinosaur. And, originally I talk about this as something that was buried in the past that people are starting to be able to uncover. You are being able to do this too. Like, this makes me think of ancestors that may have been lost to others, but they have found you. And, it also makes me think of something that is very radioactive. Looking at past half-lives, things that, that way you can tell how old something is. And I love talking about this one because this wants you to be aware of who is at your table at all times. Good energy, bad energy, people with different belief systems, and those who would try to put you down for your own belief system. The only people that should be around your table are the ones that, are going to defend you and, be strong. This, I just had this image of Atlantis, the guardians that sit on the outs of the island. and they protect it, and they protect it from people who would take advantage of this gift or this, because they are ahead in the future in Atlantis. So you may be tapping into Atlantis energy even, and there's a need to protect it from those who would utilize it in a negative way. But I'm going to go ahead and end your reading here. You are more than welcome to jump over into another one as I get ready to get into the next pile. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how it resonates at the end of the month and how it assisted or helped you. But bye, guys. Hi, Pile Fours. Welcome. I'm excited to get to this point so we can talk a little bit about your March month ahead. And if you are thinking about being committed to your goals, stay on that course. The more committed you are to your goals, especially if they are smart, the more successful you will be this month, I will say. But let me go ahead and talk about the crystal that drew you in. So we have blue spinal, persistence, fresh perspective, revival. Revive to keep alive. Blue spinal brings new energy to stagnant parts of your life, from inside your body to the world outside. The name of this stone comes from the Latin word for spine, and blue spinal will give you a strong backbone, sense of self, and reason to stand tall despite any challenges you may face. This is a great crystal for workaholics, as it eases stress and anxiety and instills a renewed sense of resolution. You can make it to the end if you put your mind to it. Blue spinal provides that fresh perspective to reset and rejuice with Pluto and Gemini, if I can speak. So, reviving stagnant parts. So anything that felt like a gear that, wasn't moving the way it should, maybe even, you're embracing, different types of, body physical practices where you are stretching. This could be like your body used to not move as it used to, and now you're making a committed goal to exercise or stretch even your mind that may feel as if the gears are not turning like they used to. But you may even feel like, oh, I used to be able to recall things like I used to, and now I'm having issues. So you're thinking of ways to like boost your memory even. But you are developing a backbone this month, and you're rising to challenges and not letting anything try to curve your spine in a specific direction. You are being focused with your intent to move ahead with a clear direction. And, you're working hard for something that greatly matters to you with a new perspective. You may have been uncertain in this last month of what it is that you want to do. This month, you're already committed and know what that direction is. And I love that for you. The self-care, self-love affirmation that we have is meditate. You're more powerful than you think. Now, going back to these goals that I'm talking about. So a good goal is a smart goal. It's very specific, measurable, it's achievable, relevant, and time bound. So if you needed an example of what a smart goal would be, this could be, I'm practicing guided meditation for 5 minutes, 5 days a week to help manage my stress levels for the next month. That is what a SMART goal is. And, you can even leave it as like a sticky note on your fridge or on your calendar. So that way you have a reminder to kind of tune in and, take care of, anything that may feel rusty even. Now, your divine feminine and divine masculine oracle for this month is, are you finding yourself people pleasing today? Take back some of your energy. Actually put this up to even like when you're leaving the door, remind yourself to not just always take care of other people's needs, take care of your own. And the more that you practice this, the more energy you will have, and you will not feel resentment even, because, when you start to put yourself on the back burner, you start to feel resentment towards the people who take up your time. And, you may even feel like you want to snap at times even. But Find ways to take care of yourself where, if you're pleasing other people, it's time to please yourself for once. Your astro dice, if you don't already see it up here, we have Neptune in Aquarius in house 8. So you are going to be drawn to transformative and unseen things in your life. Like, things are going to inspire you and you're going to want to dream even more. Like, this is going to make you want to step out of your comfort zone. Your mind is a psychic antenna this month. And if you feel called to pile 3, if you're not coming from pile 3 to pile 4, or if you want to go from pile 4 to pile 3, they also had Neptune in their energy field. But I mean, the month of March is a month of, your senses are going to be very heightened. I mean, we begin this month with Pisces before we take over into Aries. So you may feel as if you are picking up on quite a bit of information, and your dreams are trying to come through and reveal something for you to this month. Every single pile I have had today has had something to talk about a dream. But, there's a need for intuitive understanding of the human collective experience with Aquarius coming in. You're picking up on everybody's frequencies right now. I love, this is one of the reasons why I named my channel Mystic Frequency, is because, my entire life I have picked up on things that I thought were mine and they weren't. Or there was just a sense of mysticism in the world itself, and I was able to tune in on, what people around me needed before they even had to say it. But you're picking up on these needs and you're wanting to help people progress forward, or even helping them channel their own spiritual team as well. But there is a vision for the future that needs to feel clear and cloudless. You don't want to make decisions this month unless you have all the information that is available. And I want to say that we are in Mercury, Mercury in retrograde. And one of the things that Mercury in retrograde talks about is not signing, a contract, or signing, things that don't seem certain for you, because you may regret it in the long term. So make sure you have all the information available, and to, tap into your spiritual team here to kind of like help guide you. Or if you are having dreams that are letting you know about this specific situation, or whatever career or study you may be investing in that may not be good for you, pay attention and discover why that would be. But explore, your human psyche. Explore your mind. Explore what makes, a shadow, what makes people hold on to specific memories. Or it's like, this is someone that I can see, taking psychology and, being engrossed with, what makes a serial killer a killer, what makes a psychopath. But you are somebody that is not scared to look at what could, through human behavior or even the early upbringing of, a child, and you wanting to be that force that says, well, I'm picking up on these cues that are saying that unless we start doing something in, the early childhood, we are going to be faced with a much worse adversary for our future, and these children are not going to have a sense of self down the road even. And I know that's a very deep topic, but Aquarius people, they care about the philosophical thoughts that are out there. They are questioning the why. They aren't going to just sit by and say, back then everybody said that, the sun and all the planets revolved around Earth, and then turns out, no, it doesn't. We revolve around the sun. You were constantly challenging things, and you don't want small talk this month. You want your mind to be stimulated, and you may find at times that the only thing that stimulates your mind is when you are talking to your spirit guides, your ancestors, the people who have came before you. You're wanting to talk to the future version of yourself and tap into that. But there is caution for intense emotions and a need for boundaries if you are experiencing this kind of energy this month. So that way you are not just swimming and drowning in an ocean of collective feelings. Hercules, it makes me think of, you have the potential to save something here, save a piece of your future, or be able to work through any kind of shadow work that needs to be done. But so in the movie, not the the life movies of Hercules, but the one where Disney messes up Hercules's story and it is not congruent with the actual story of Hercules. But where he is jumping off into the river of Styx, and as he's swimming to save Meg's soul, he's getting older and older. This is what I want you to imagine for yourself. The more you are swimming in the collective longing of other people's emotions, it is taking a toll on your energy. The more that you sense that someone has a need and you're trying to fulfill it, the more you are taking from you yourself. This makes me think of somebody that would play a video game, and you see everybody has like a quest marker or an exclamation point, and that's how you see people in the real life. It's like you pick up on these, I have a question, or I need assistance, traveler, please, adventure, help me. And you are needing to kind of like step back from that, because you have the biggest red flag on your head if you don't take care of your own needs. But I hope that image kind of like helps you, like that analogy, like you are swimming in the river of Styx and it is sapping your energy each time you try to recover something from your past or recover a soul of some kind. But just remember, so this month you're going to need a spiritual life jacket. You're a lighthouse during a storm and can guide others through their darkest hours. But what good is a lighthouse if the light bulb goes out? So keep a spiritual life jacket, an extra bulb for your lighthouse, and use meditation as mortar for the foundation of this lighthouse. So, when a lightning strikes your lighthouse, it doesn't fall off the cliff and into the sea and desecrate itself. I don't know why I said desecrate. Oh my God. I hope nobody's desecrating people's tombstones. And, what I just heard from your spirit guides right now is you are the only person that fights for the dead still. You uncover mysteries that haven't been solved for others, and you are righting wrongs in people's family. Someone may have said, oh, we don't talk about Bruno. I know that's he's not dead in the movie, but we don't talk about Bruno because Bruno betrayed the family. Or when you hear about a sworn enemy's past, you discover there's a reason why they became that villain in their life. Or you discover that it was the hero that lied about all the I'm thinking of Coco. Oh my goodness, my Disney family is coming out today, I feel like. So Coco in that movie, everybody thinks that his great grandfather walked away from the family, and they had this idol that the boy looked up to, and he wanted to play music like they did. And they kept saying, no, you're not going to play music. If you ever say you're going to play music, you're going to make grandma pass away. Like, that's not fair to her, things like that. And then he goes to the spiritual world and discovers his grandfather and finds out that the hero that this boy had looked up to was not a hero after all, and that his father never got to go back to his family, even though he was going to. That is what you're doing this month. You are helping people see heroes as villains and villains as heroes in the most positive light that can be said possible. And I love that. Oh, I love that. I love you guys. Love it, love it, love it. But let me go ahead and talk about your starseed oracle that is coming through. These are seeds that you can plant, or in ways that you can, touch the stars and be, in more tune with yourself. So we have baby steps, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. And then we have double mission, Lightworker Starseed, serve the world by being you. And I will read from each of these books, or each of these cards. You're being called to take grounded action in response to your soul's calling, to start where you are and begin building in a consistent way. So many people stop themselves from living a soul-led life because they're waiting to know the destination before taking the first step. But intuition doesn't work that way. Our soul is always calling us every moment of every day. The way to find yourself living in harmony with the cosmos is to listen to your soul's baby calls and whispers each and every day, and to take grounded action in the direction of those calls and whispers. You're being encouraged to start small, bite-sized, to put one foot in front of the other, to do one thing every day, to break things down into achievable tasks. Time on Earth goes slower than on other planets. This may cause frustration for starseeds, who can expect a faster pace of manifestation and thus giving up before the seeds begin to sprout. If you resonate with that, it's time to opt out for consistency over urgency. Time to take baby steps in the direction of your calling, to remember that you don't need to have it all figured out or know exactly where the path is leading you. You don't have to know every single step along the way before you set out on your journey. You just need to take the next step. And the question this card says is, what's one simple baby step you can take in the direction of your soul's calling? Think about that goal that you're wanting to stay committed to. That'll be key here. And once you know what that goal is, think about that step, that specific, measurable, and attainable step that you can take right now. Double mission. Lightworker starseeds are mission and purpose oriented. Many have the feeling that time's running out and there's something they came here to do, create, or contribute. They're here to grow as souls individually, individual mission, and also to contribute to the planet in some action-oriented way, or the collective mission. Their collective mission is often answered through a career calling or by devoting their life to something bigger. Until they remember their collective mission, it can feel as if something's missing or that they're forgetting something important. It's common for lightworker starseeds to feel that they're different, and they may carry soul memories of being visible or sharing their voice. As such, they may protect themselves by dimming their light in order to fit in, or by spending time in some sort of closet, such as a spiritual closet. If you pull this card, you're being called to remember your collective mission and to step into it even more fully. You're being reminded that your role as a light worker is to light up the world with your presence. This doesn't have to be a great big thing or a decision you need to make. You also don't need to have a great big plan. If you resonate with being a light worker, all you need to do is work out what lights you up, your passions and joys, and keep doing that. When you trust and follow the simple path of things that light you up, and then lose yourself in the doing, you'll light up the world without even trying. So how can you serve the world? By being you. Take care of this lighthouse that you have, that is this giant beam that is guiding souls. Take care of it and honor it, because, Chiron, who is guiding souls across the river of Styx, he's going to need to know where he needs to take these souls. And that is what your job is to be able to differentiate, is this a gold, is this person a good soul? Or are they the villain in people's stories? Or is this person who says they are the villain, are they actually a good soul? You are the lighthouse to determine, which river Styx needs to go in order to pass this soul along. Sticks to go, or pick up the sticks that resonate for you right now. But take baby steps. Take it one step at a time, one breath. Now I'm going to go ahead and get your cards over. So when I'm doing the tarot, I'm focusing on career, studies, finances, your relationships, and how the world may be kind of like working with you, or how you are working with the world. All right. So in your career field, your studies, or even your finances, it may seem that things are unclear or uncertain for you. There's a lot of potential for things to come through and be channeled, but your guides are wanting you to kind of step back and see if there are any weeds that need to be weeded out, or where you are getting your source of information from even. Are you making decisions for yourself, or are your decisions being guided by another source of energy? Because they want you to choose a career path that you want for yourself, that brings that sense of clarity through here, that positivity, because I see the sun in the background, that makes you feel positive about your decisions. And you may find that you're not wanting to take action, or that in this moment, your mind is not in a state to really focus on something that is long-term. You are thinking about those baby steps, that one specific goal that you need to focus on right now before you can make a long-term goal. There's nothing wrong with short-term goals in this case. Like, in fact, I would say that would benefit you greatly, because you do pick up, like a radio signal, I will say, you do pick up things quite frequently, and that causes you to change your course, or what direction in which you are steering your boat. And you may even find that you are rethinking through things this month. You're rethinking through your life's journey, or trying to find the right words to speak up or say what you need to say. But there is a lot of anxiousness that is kind of coming through here. And there was another pile that had the Nine of Swords as well. But so the way your world is kind of operating with your career is, it's almost like there is a need to put a nail in, put a nail in the coffin. Something needs to be buried here that has been resurfacing, or something that you've had the inability to let go so you can move forward in life. You may have felt very sorry about something that has occurred in your life, or find that it's harder for you to let go of this specific emotion that you may be feeling, or even that it feels like as if everybody else is leaving you, or they don't understand all the emotions that you are picking up. They don't understand that you have been running through your mind as if it was a maze, and you're trying to discern, what are my oceans? Okay, what is the ocean that I need to be swimming in? Is it my own ocean, or am I swimming in someone else's ocean here? And like, if you were to look down, you would be able to let whatever's up here kind of fall out the way it should. So that way, by the time you look up, the Ace of Swords is not in reverse. It will be very clear, and you'll have a direction in which you need to go. But I want to say, it's like the path that is behind you in this card, there is air that is traveling through here, because there's these leaves that are in the background. So there are things that are trying to be stirred up, but they're kind of like you can't even feel that the wind is coming through and there is a door that is opening for this clarity. um it's like, I want to say, it's like this is what you're thinking about. You're thinking about, there's someone that is very close to you that is wanting you to try and let them go, so that way you can let the next spiritual team or guide come in that is supposed to help you with this next goal that you are working on. And I don't know who I heard that from. I was watching a oh gosh, Inkblot scry, I believe. But I have this lady that I've recently discovered who does ink blots. Her name is Stephanie, I believe. And I encourage you to check out her channel. I love her channel, love her ink blots. And um, she said, like, when you are in a period and you're trying to, your guides are trying to do a swap of some kind for this next part of your journey, things feel unstable. Even though it's for a split second for them, it's just a quick 1 second switcheroo. For you, it feels like it drags on. It feels like a week or two before you have a sense of clarity or a direction of where you need to be going. So when you are finding that your guides are trying to switch out and come through, this is a time for you to be resting, to be regaining your energy, to think about what you have been picking up that you need to let go. Because the Four of Swords talks about a need for rest. You know, you are at a period, you could be through a period of severe exhaustion, burnout, or things are just starting to stagnate in your life the more that you refuse to rest. So your guides are coming in and saying, if the world is making you anxious, if the world is bringing you anxiety, if you are holding on to someone who used to be an anchor in your life, they are coming through to tell you that they are not an anchor. They are a wheel. They are the handle in which you need to know where it is that you are going. And yes, they are, you know, they may be buried, they may be beneath the ground, they may be at the deep depths of your soul, but they have always been in front of you, always present, and always, you know, they may have had a book in their hand. And it's just like they're trying to say, everything you need to know right now is in front of you. Just trust yourself, trust this part of your life, and allow yourself to see that there is hope. Your relationships, you know, there is a lot of hope here. There's a lot of renewal that is coming through, even spiritually for you. You know, the star comes after a tower moment where you are able to get up and find that not all is lost. There is still hope. And I love that my light is making it look like there's a sun down here, but like there's a sun here, a sun here, there's a sun here. And the only card that doesn't make me feel like there is a light is in this card. And that feels like it's something that you are internalizing here. But there, you know, there is so much positivity for you to tap into, a lot of inspiration here. And as long as you are, oh, you know what? The instant you let go of what is not yours to hold any longer, you find that you are this perfect energy right here who is now spiritually healed in some way, renewed. And you are seeing that all of these traumas, these wounds, these issues that used to weigh you down so much are actually helping you heal in a different way and helping you heal others as well. But you are regaining your composure here, and you are swimming with the fishes, literally swimming with the fishes here. And things are becoming much more stable for you. It's just like the more you try to not let what's going on in other people's lives affect you, the sense of hope that you are bringing to others. When people are making a wish, you are able to fulfill that wish because you are doing this healing journey with yourself, and you are not people pleasing any longer. You are taking back some of that energy. But a fresh perspective is trying to come in, with the star and the ace over here. A fresh perspective is trying to come in here, and that's what's going to help you stay committed to your goals. And if you do find that you have any sense of depression, nightmares, anything that you are worrying about that you just cannot shake off of you, make sure to journal or reach out to those that can really help you with this. I, you know, I do feel like someone has a pastor or someone in their family that is very, very easy to talk to. And I really hope that you're able to communicate what you need to, be like, I have this on my chest. And then they sit here and pray with you, and they connect you to other people by doing so. But when your guides are going through this transition where they're swapping out and they're switching, do not lose hope for yourself. Because it's like, I'm a beacon for all that is divine and good, and then they do that swap and you feel this almost instantly. So make sure to ground yourself, give yourself that spine you need to sit up straight, and trust you are going exactly where you need to go, and your guides are this wheel for you if you need it. I'm going to go ahead and get your Scrabble and your charms on the board before I forget. All right, here is your Scrabble. So we have vet, seal, ace, and blank. So this is making me think that there is something that has the potential to fill the blank spaces of your life right now. It just requires you to kind of like go through this mental breakthrough or this clarity that you need to come in your life and see, where am I at emotionally, and if I've been taking care of other people's needs versus my own, and how can I provide that sense of hope that will rejuvenate and renew me that I need right now, and to be able to not let what goes on in the world make me prevent me from being able to sleep at night. But so vet is to make a careful and critical examination of something. So you may find that you need to kind of like, if you have not been to therapy of some kind, maybe you need some kind of, it's like you need someone to kind of like really help you work through the maze of your mind, because you have been making left turns and it hasn't gotten you out of this maze. You just need something that needs a real good examination, and I feel like that would really help you greatly. Zeal is great energy or enthusiasm of a cause or an objective. So Aquarius energy is one of those things where, like, when you care a lot about something, allow yourself to allow a fresh perspective to come in here, so that way you don't become very dogmatic or aloof or distant even from those that are around you. And it's like if you see something, it's like, I guess that's all there is. But in reality, that's not all there is. There's still so much more for you in this life that you haven't even tapped into. There's so much potential here. This charm over here makes me think of a scroll that is tied to something at one point. It's a chain that has been broken. So like whatever used to be anchored, it's like this information is now being able to sync to where it needs to go. So that way you may be able to pull yourself even. And what's funny is, originally this is what I was thinking this was talking about, because I had this rope, but it feels like you needed a rope, but you needed rope and a piece of information to come through before you are ready to step out of this state right here. Now, this necklace right here is actually a necklace my grandmother wore when she got married to my grandfather. And I think someone in your family is trying to help provide a lifeline for you to pull you out of this situation. And this may even be the spiritual guide that is coming in to swap out with someone, so that way you can find that sense of comfort. And these look like fall leaves to me. They're like maple leaves even. So as seasons are changing, so too is your spiritual team. This is a voodoo doll, and it makes me think of, honestly, this reminds me of Stephanie from Inkblot. But like, there will always be, there's other different divination methods that you can use in order to tap into your spiritual team. You don't always have to use tarot or oracle cards. There's Scrabble, there's scrying, there's daydreaming, there's dream journaling. Charms is another one, and I felt like her eye was about to pop off. But this also is making me think of, are you wrapping yourself in truth in this moment? So that way, whatever you see, you see it with compassion, because it makes me think of, the green heart chakra. It's like being able to see things with compassion. And, are you able to physically speak when you want to? Or do you find that, some things that are revealed to you are only meant for you to know? But and this is like this makes me think of the connection that you have with the spiritual world, the good and the bad even. And I talked about this in the last pile. So when you are opening up a connection to your whoever you are in contact with, make sure you have a safe space and you are setting benevolent intention only to come in, so that way you do not receive the wrong information or someone trying to take in, because it feels like there is a snake that is starving you and not giving you the right information, versus in the other reading they had the healthy snake. And so notice what is being starved, or notice what has a clasp that can leave if it wants to. And then it's like leaving you questioning about what just happened. But this could even talk about people that may be around you, that your guides are wanting you to be aware of, that are not all that they seem to be. And then this is an infinity pearl, and it's missing a pearl on it now. And the backing, actually, that's what this is for. I thought this was I didn't know where it came from, and now I know it goes to this right here. But originally when I was thinking of this, I was like, this is someone that is needing to have a tool in front of them to pick a coal up, because if they were to touch it, it would burn them. So whatever you are working with this month, make sure that you have the right tools necessary so you don't end up harming yourself. But look at the areas in which your life cycles through things, or things that feel like they're constantly going on and on and on your life and don't feel like they're changing. There's a need to break something away from here. And it may feel disruptive. It may feel as if your whole world is changing just because you had to take something out in order to change the whole sequence up. But, it is for your good. And this is a ring that does not have a stone inlaid in it. At one point it did, and I ended up losing it in retail when I was working. So the gems that you have in your life that you don't want to lose, think about those. Think about the promises that you have to keep. And if you don't keep those promises, how people will, take that piece of their light away even. But this also makes me think of, that lighthouse analogy, where you are that, you're that promise that this world needs in order to keep it lit. And then we have this clothespin, safety pin. So making sure that you don't leave things open to stale, or that you leave things lying out on a line for too long, because eventually either A, the wind's going to take off with it. Or, when I grew up and our dryer went out, we had to go to my grandparents and dry our clothes on their clothesline. And if you leave your clothes out and about for too long, the birds will poop on them. We learned that and had to wash our laundry all over again. So, what do you have hanging around you right now that may need to be taken off the line so you can wash something else and dry something else? And this is an owl locket. So, your intuition is very strong. There's no question about it. And it's not something you can just hide easily. It's like you're out in public and your face picks up something and people are like, why did you make that face? And it's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but it's like you're trying to see the truth to a situation here that is for your highest good. I think I touched all of them. I think I have all the charms done. But that is your reading, my dear. So if you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check back in towards the end of March. Let me know how it resonates if you're not on your own journey doing anything else. But I'm excited to see, what goal you have that you were committing to right now. But remember to take those baby steps. And, you don't just have one mission in this life, you have two. But I'm going to go ahead and reveal the last pile if anybody wanted to, invest in pile 5. And you are more than welcome to look at it if you'd like, or jump into another one. Bye. Hi guys. So this is what pile 5's reading will look like, and it's just here to kind of give you a further clarity, or even if this is, the reading that you were wanting to invest in, this is just so that way you can look at any kind of card to see if this is something that is pulling you in. Now, I will say that if you have felt restricted in your life in this previous month before March gets here, or that, your own self-image or the way that you express yourself has been denied to you, or that you are needing to be very, you want to feel patient and understanding with those around you. This reading will be really good for you to tap into, or even take advantage of this energy and help you see that every road that you have been walking on has been leading you exactly where you need to go, where you can find your own personal home, where you feel as if you do belong, and it isn't restricted any longer. But this is a reading to really help y'all see if you have been struggling in any area of your life. You can use this reading to really help you in the month of March. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I appreciate everyone that has watched and listened throughout the entire reading, and just taken the opportunity to see what March has for you. And if you do enjoy this content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know how it resonates, guys. I want to know how y'all are doing by the end of March, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Bye.